Good day and welcome to the demo. Today I'll be demoing the PyPiGame assignment. So the main three deliverables for this assignment, for this project, was firstly the assignment memorandum, then the assignment scaffold, and along with that comes the PyPiGame assignment questions. So I'm showing you the game, which can run on the the Raspberry Pi, as a standalone app or as a desktop app. So I'm showing you the Python PyPiGame, which is being controlled by the Raspberry Pi SenseAt, this little joystick over here. So I'm just going to try and get to the goal state as quickly as possible. There's your up movement, down movement, left movement, and right movement. And once you get to the goal state, it will show you that you have completed the game. So after developing this game, we had to create a code scaffold which the students will use to complete the assignment, which should look like the finished game which I have just showed you. So what I've brought up here is, on the left hand side is the memorandum for the assignment, and on the right hand side is the code scaffold. As you can see here, the code scaffold has things taken out where it has to do questions, which links up with the assignment questions, which is a full document as well, where we cover the use of variables, arrays, for loops, if statements, and while loops. So for example, question 2 is basically where they have to check whether the player is still within the boundaries, which has to do with the use of if statements and Boolean expressions. And then the last question, question 3, is where they have to calculate how many walls there are in the maze. So 3.1 has to do with using a for loop to calculate this, while 3.2 is where they have to use a while loop to calculate this. And then question 3.3, they have to find the goal state using a while loop, which should be quicker than if they were to use a for loop in this sense. A few questions. The most difficult part of the assignment was really creating the code scaffold and the assignment documentation, which is relatively challenging, as we had to find bits and pieces of the code which we could take out and rework into questions which first year students would be able to do. And if you wanted to add any more questions to this assignment, you would first have to check if the type of question you are asking is covered in the code, and if it is, great, you can make it a part of the scaffold as well, and then add the question to the assignment document. But if it were not in, you would have to code that functionality in, then create a code scaffold of that part, which would make a question in the assignment document. The reason we had to create two versions of this game or assignment is that we realized that some people might not have access to a Raspberry Pi, which in this case means that they'd have to use the desktop arrow keys on their keyboard to progress through the maze. And that's about it for this demo. Thank you very much.